Good morning, everybody. This is Janice Gerbrandt, and you're here with us in the Professional Development Virtual Group for another webinar. This time we've got Gilda Alvarez, and she's speaking to us today about working from home. And I don't know about any of you, but I'm at home, and I might be in my pajamas, but you won't know. So before we start, I've got a couple of the past slides just to run through. So congratulations to Stephanie Locke, Hamish Watson, and Lori Edwards for winning the 3 most recent seats for serving on the past board of directors. Their term will officially start on January 1st, and I believe it's a 2-year term. So thank you so much for everybody who fought to be on the board, because it's got to be a rough job, but I think we all really appreciate it that someone's fighting for us. And a huge congratulations for Tracy, who won the 2020 Passion Award. And I think we probably all know Tracy to some degree, and the work that she puts into her presentations and you know, her volunteering in PASS, and it's because of people like Tracy that we have PASS. Honestly, without volunteers, this thing just doesn't work. And for the rest of us, we can join PASS Pro membership if we haven't done it already. There's some exclusive training and discounts and networking opportunities for the PASS Pro membership folks. So consider upgrading from your standard membership today. Just as you're joining us here today for this virtual groups webinar, there are many virtual groups that will be having webinars over the next month, and in fact every month. So here's a few examples of them coming up. You can always count on the cloud group to have lots going on. SQL Saturdays are looking a little different right now. I have the dubious distinction of being the organizer of the very last in-person SQL Saturday. It was held in Victoria in March. SQL Saturdays are now virtual, so you can get to them from anywhere, and it's especially handy if they're in a language that you speak, but maybe you're not necessarily close enough to get to them, because they are all over. So thank you for being part of the Professional Development Virtual Group. If that's how you found out about today's webinar, feel free to browse the other virtual groups and see which other ones might have some content that appeals to you. And a huge thank you to this virtual group's sponsor, which is Microsoft Learn. So Microsoft Learn is a free online training platform that provides interactive training for Microsoft products and more. And today, the attendees of our webinar, I'll do a random draw later for the folks who actually attended, and somebody will get a $75 gift card courtesy of Microsoft Learn. So I am going to change the presentation mode over to Gilda, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about questions. Feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. I will see them, and from time to time can pass them to Gilda, or we'll have some time at the end for a chat and for questions. Thank you everybody for joining us today for the webinar, and especially to Gilda for presenting those surviving from work from home burnout.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Thank you very much. I love what you guys do with the community, and if I can help, you know, even with little bits of things, I'm here. I'm very blessed to be in this community. So today we're going to talk about surviving the work from home burnout. If you have seen my presentations, you know that most of my presentations are about surviving. You know, I started with surviving SQL migrations, to surviving as a woman in technology, to surviving the digital transformation. And when the pandemic started to hit, I'm like, I didn't have that drastic change. So, and then when I realized that it was affecting a lot of people, then it's when I decided to start this presentation, because I think as technical people that we are, we want to understand the why, what's happened. And we're going to go a little bit deep into biology, psychology. We're going to talk about energy, frequencies, and many things that help us understand what is happening inside of us, right? Kind of like we're gonna digest this like performance and tuning SQL Server kind of thing, but about energy and emotions. So, without further, the agenda today is I want you to learn a little bit about me because it'll help understand the trajectory and the roadmap that I've been through and why I've been able to cope with this. I want to know how you're feeling. Um, how do you work? How did the work from home affected me in the beginning? Because everybody's going through the same thing. How did I cope and what techniques did I use? If to do that, we're going to have to touch a little bit on health, ergonomics, the work-life balance, which I call it the performance and tuning of working from home, connections, and of course, self-care and emotional management. So who am I? I kind of build this little thing so that you can understand my experience as well as my exposure to the work from home. So I graduated from UCF here in Orlando. By the way, I live in Orlando, Florida. I'm originally from Ecuador and I came to the United States at the age of 12. I learned the English language and then I graduated from college. I started working for IBM back in 1999 and I became a DBA in 2000. When September 11 hit, I was given the opportunity of working from home, and that was 2001. You have to understand at that time we were going through a lot of fear of what was happening in the world. You know, September 11, I think traumatized all of us, and it changed our world. It was the pre-September and the after September 11, and everything changed. So a lot of emotions were happening and things are happening. And at that time, if I can count with my fingers the amount of people that were working from home, it's probably 10 of us, and it was all of us at IBM. And so it was a process, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I worked for IBM for 8 years, and then most of the jobs that I did were hybrid, where I had to work from home and I had to go to the office until I started working for Deloitte again, where I began to work fully from home. So the work from home 100% is what I'm going to help you adjust, because the hybrid is going to give you a little more exposure to different things, but the work from home is the one that we're going to focus on here. Okay, so right now I'm dealing with I would say the lessons learned, and I'm trying to preach not only to the past community but to different other user groups that are facing the same challenges. So what are you feeling right now? Let me tell you what you're feeling. I feel guilty about not being productive enough. I work more than 8 hours per day. I can't fall asleep because I've been working at night. I skip lunch or I eat at my desk. I'm too tired to exercise. And I ignore calls from friends, families, because I don't want to see another Zoom meeting again, right? I summarizing a little bit here, the feelings that you're having right now. So how did it affect me? All these feelings, eventually you start feeling isolated. You start feeling exhausted. You start feeling depressed and you start getting sick. Okay? So, can you hear me well? I'm getting a message that to improve audio performance.
No, I have no complaints with the
Close
audio.
to. Okay, perfect. So, all of these feelings is pretty much happening in your body due to multiple things. And this is why we're going to have to gear towards the different areas, the biology, we're going to look about ergonomics, we're going to look about psychology, all these things to resolve and move this energy around. And if you want to know how I figured this out, you just have to open your eyes. Like right now, I don't know if you can see me. I'm outside my house and the sun is a little bit covered by some trees. I'm getting another message that I I'm having network. Hopefully everybody is seeing my screen. Okay. So
Yeah,
what is,
no issues at all. I don't know why it's squawking at you.
okay. So let's talk about what's happening, right? So the pandemic hit and everybody had to stay home. There's a lot of fear and there was a lot of emotions happening inside. I don't know if you remember when September 11 hit. Everybody had the TV on. Everybody was news, 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 and it was so negative news that it starts to bottle up all that. And the fact that you're not going out and you're not being exposed to the natural light, it affects your brain. It affects your body because natural light of the sun helps the brain work better. And it's not like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go and open my eyes in front of the sun and get it UV and get cancer. No, that's not what we're trying to say. But we do this normally when we go to the car, when we walk from the parking lot to the office, when we go to the mall. You know, we do all these things, little bits of time that we have our eyes exposed to the sun, right? So we immediately cut that and things start to go wrong in our body, right? So we're gonna look a little bit about, we're gonna talk a little bit about what is happening in our eyes, what is happening in our retina. And in the 1920s, there was some research that was done on mice, right? The mice, we have two pretty much very important receptors that can tell the colors, right, in our eyes. We have the rods and the cones, right? Everybody thought that that's how you see light, but you were seeing some blind rats that did not have a problem with, you know, the stresses of not being able to see the light. And we couldn't explain it in the 20s. It took 60 years. It took early 90s to begin to start searching because we had people that are blind that you can see that are not having issues with the light, knowing when is day, when is night. And if you think about somebody that is blind, should not even know when to go to sleep and when not to go to sleep. Something was happening that was determining the, so sorry, I have people texting me from work. So what happened in 1998, this is really close to after September 11 when I got obsessed with this, is that Provencio discovered a novel photopigment never seen before in a frog's skin. 2 years later, this same photopigment was found in the human retina. They call it melanopsin. Okay? This is the key to what's happening to us, right? These different neurons are located in different areas of our body that do so many things for our body. The functions such as going to sleep, right? Knowing when is day, when is night. The inflammation, circadian rhythm of our heart. It's in every area of the body, and it helps us regulate hormones. So what's happening is we have blocked that capability by the fact that we're locking ourselves into a place where there is no sun exposure, or that you're getting less sun exposure because of this lockdown, right? So that's the whole reason why I say the answer is right in front of you, right in your eyes. So what do I say? Well, what do I recommend? I recommend people to do these two things. And I'm not changing your eating habits. I'm not changing the way that you exercise. No. What I need is for you early in the morning to step outside and let the early sun, not the later when the UV rates are high or anything like that. Early in the morning when the sun is coming out, let your retina adjust and let your hypothalamus understand that there's nothing wrong, that you know that this is a day, then you're going to start the day. And when it's at night, when the sun is going down, again, be exposed to it and let your brain and your hormones in your body understand that the day is ending, so that now you start creating melatonin, and that helps you regulate your sleep. all of this is free of charge. Nobody's charging you for the sun. It's all free for everybody. And try walking outside. Don't use sunglasses. You don't need it. It's early in the morning and it's late at night where, I mean, it's getting where the sun is dropping, where the UV rays are very low. Don't do this during like 11 until 4 in the afternoon, which is so high in UV rays. But do it early in the morning and let your eyes be exposed. Let the retina be exposed to what is going to help you biologically first, right? I've attached some things for you to read and to understand a little bit more if you want to get deep into that. So the photosensitive cells in the eye directly affect the brain's hypothalamus region. They influence, I don't know if you remember when you go, I mean, if you travel overseas and when you get to that place and you're like so tired, doesn't that feeling of fatigue feels exactly like if you were in an airplane and you travel to Rome and you're like, what is wrong with me? Well, that is exactly what happened. Your sleeping habit, you were not exposed to the sun, your retina was not exposed to. So usually you take a little nap, you wake up and now your circadian rhythm starts to level up, right? And you'll be able to understand that you're in a different time zone and your body starts adjusting. So I feel like we're in a giant jet lag through this pandemic and the work from home. So we just need to adjust. We're not in a plane, so we can get out of the plane, right? And we can help our bodies adjust to the hormone that is being blocked, and it's just outside, and it's for free. So all of these things are affecting us biologically. Um, but what else is affecting us, right? Some people are like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm sitting down too long. What is happening? Well, it's important. I'm sorry. This is the my recommendations. The 15 minutes walk early day to the east and the 15 minutes walk early evening to the west. Don't wear sunglasses or contacts because the contacts do block it. So if you have, I wouldn't say open the shades and have the sun, because the sun also has bad UV rays, right? Just making sure that you open that window in the morning, let that sun hit your eyes in the beginning, and of course let your eyes know that it's the end of the day, right? Oh, so now we're talking about ergonomics. Why is this so important? Oh my gosh, this is so critical because your body is constantly um, inflated. Inflammation is hitting your body when you're not sitting right. And so it causes you to be more tired. The difference between having an ergonomic chair and not having an ergonomic chair is huge. So I do recommend the first thing you want to buy to work from home or get about anything, desk, it could be any desk. Get an ergonomic chair. Even though if you get those desks that you can stand, people get tired standing up. So you're gonna eventually sit down, and the problem when you sit down is you're pressing on your back, and it's causing inflammation. And inflammation is gonna cause you to feel tired and fatigued. So if you can avoid that, the best. So I've attached a little bit here on rules on how you need to sit on your chair. Important thing of having your feet not dangling, because I'm short, so I have to use all of the things that are provided to me. I have to buy a chair that is for short people. Some of you are tall, so you don't have to worry about that. But my chair is more expensive, and I have to organize my office in a way that it doesn't cause any more inflammation. So usually I have my office all the way in the back of the house so that I can psychologically clock out of my office. And of course, the monitor needs to be at a certain level so that you don't stress your eyes. And anyways, I'm gonna give you this presentation so that you can go back to it and learn the ergonomics of working from home. Okay. What else do we need to do? Self-care. This is critical. This is critical because what I find that it's causing a lot of this bottleneck of emotions when you have a pandemic, when you have fear, is the isolation. You know, people are isolated, and we are energy. Like just the way that you're absorbing that energy, amazing energy from the sun, we absorb energy from other people in surroundings. For me, and I'm gonna have to go back to my problems, right? 6 months into working from home, I had developed depression. I'm like, I've never had depression. I never even had postpartum depression. I never had, and I did not know what was happening to me. Um, this is all. This has been years of educating myself and reading books and understanding. I have. You can go and pay a mentor that teach you all this, but what I have developed is I call it my little islands, right? So I have certain people in my life that are those powerhouses of energy that are like up up here. And I know when to reach out to those people to feed off that energy. And whenever I have issues that I need to work out, I know exactly who to call. Like as a mother, like I have one friend that is an amazing mother that does things in an amazing way, and I can always ask her, "What did you do?" Like I was stressing because my daughter was doing poorly in math, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?" And I'm like stressing out for something that and she's like, "Hire a tutor." I'm like, that's right. I just hire a tutor. Like, but you wouldn't think that, right? When you're so stressed out and you're like, "Oh, I have to fix the world." It's simple, right? So people that are going through so many things, because she has 4 kids, so she knows she can write the ABC on how to raise kids, right? Um, and I find those specific individuals and I learn from those people. I'm struggling with the high availability groups. I call Edwin, hey Edwin, how do you do? I have those people that are like amazing at certain things, like partitioning a table. I forgot how to do a merge. Oh no, let me ask this person. In 2 seconds, they tell me exactly what I need to do. So you get that. I call it kind of like when we when we split the temp DB, we're splitting the temp DB for our lives because now we have so many files, right? And so many islands of our life that can help us do a better perform in our lives better, right? So I started dancing and I became such a great dancer that I was dancing in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. While I was doing my job, I was professionally dancing. It took me 3 years, but it kind of gave me motivation. I started going to comedy clubs. I started reaching out to nature. And like right now, I'm surrounded by trees. Believe it or not, I'm changing, exchanging energy with nature. The beach for me is a huge powerhouse of energy. It helps me. People don't understand because they go there and they love the beach, and what they're doing is they're releasing negativity and absorbing the amount of energy that the ocean gives to the body. And so you start cleaning your energy and your emotions. I started painting. I started doing exercises and doing Zumba and doing things that can bring my energy level high. So you get to reach out to all these little, I call them my islands of, of mentors to help me in different areas. And then I improve because I cannot do it alone. And I'm a very different kind of person, right? I don't consider myself like the typical. I have a group of friends that are like the fashionable, the girly girl. I'm not like that. But I happen to have very good friends there that I want to be able to spend time, but I just don't know sometimes how to dress for that party. And they're like, oh, you need to dress for this and you need to. I'm not gonna go through years of people that know how to the V-neck and the round neck. And I'm like, listen, I'm worried about performance in tuning SQL Server. That's more important because that pays. So I call somebody that can help me with certain things and I don't need to be an expert. I just reach out to those little islands of mentors that I built. You can find one mentor that is great at everything and you can pay thousands of dollars but for me, I have the best people. I've been blessed in the technical community to have you guys, for example, and I've been blessed for the dancing community to have an amazing group of dancers. I have my community at church, when I have something spiritual that I need to reach out, that I can reach out like this. Amazing people in each of my little islands. And that's how I've been able to cope. The answer to this burnout that we're having is about connections. Once you start reaching out and absorbing the energy, not only from the sun, but from the people around you, your life starts to change because you're not only just controlling your biological, now you're controlling your emotions. And that will help you. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. So you do need to make some time to connect with people. And I know people are going to be, you spend most of the time with people at work. Let's face it. You're going to have very toxic people at work. You're going to have very toxic people in your house. You're going to have very toxic people around you. Do yourself a favor and just measure your level of energy. If you cannot handle toxicity at this time, isolate yourself from them. Just for now. And I'm not saying don't talk to your dad all for the rest of your life, but you might need to take some time away from those people because what they're feeding you is constant fear, is constant complaining, is constant, and you don't need that right now because you yourself are trying to get better. Now, once you are better and once you feel fulfilled, then you can help others. But don't try to be the person that's helping everybody because they are absorbing energy from you. And you're always going to continue to be burnt out, not just from work, but from the people around you. So the burnout that you're having is a general situation that you're living in, not just the office, right? What I recommend people for the experience of working from home that they feel like they're not productive and I say understand that what your value is. First of all, that's the first thing. What is your value? People think, wow, I worked 80 hours last week. And you're like, wow, congratulations. You want an award for that? No, that's not how it is. Your value is not based on the hours you work. Okay, that's the first thing. You don't need to work so many hours. Your value is based on the results you give each company that you work for or each project that you're assigned for, right? If you can get the results done faster, and that's it. Don't think that you have to work 80 hours and take as many tickets from the queue as possible to show that you're being productive. No, no, no. You figured a problem. If you figure it faster, that's your worth. That's what you provided as add value to that project, right? Forget about working too many hours. That's just gonna burn you. And you, as if you're burned, you're not gonna be the best. You can't think quickly, and you can't help in your house, and you can't be a good friend, and you can't. It affects everything. So the whole time management, I think, is part of it. But what I recommend people that are in meetings constantly is you have to schedule your breaks. You cannot go 2 meetings, 3 meetings, 4 meetings without taking a break. Give yourself and schedule your time. Like scratch this time at 10:15 in the morning. I don't want to have any meeting. I want to go over what I went through from 8 in the morning until 10. I want to just go over and see and then schedule your next meeting after that. So give yourself some time. Don't go back to back meetings, and you do that by you putting a line on it and saying nobody schedules me from this time to this time, but you can schedule me in the afternoon. In the afternoon, take another break, right? And don't let people to continue to schedule for meetings constantly. Another thing is learn to automate, right? They try to automate the work that you're doing so you don't have to work so hard, right? I don't think we are geniuses. I think we're just lazy people sometimes that we need time for ourselves. So I'm figuring out right now how to automate. Like yesterday I was doing table partitioning, and I'm like, if I can automate this based on the value, let me think of it. So I'm thinking already I'm going to automate this so I don't get to be bothered by this thing again. So that's kind of like how my brain is working. How do I save my time and my energy? I work at home. Like I have a lady. I when I during the pandemic, I was unemployed, so I did a lot of stuff in the house. I wasn't as tired, but now that I'm working, I had to hire a lady to help me clean. right? Because it's a big house and I needed somebody to help me clean. So twice a month, I have a lady that comes and help me clean the house, right? Cleans the bedrooms, cleans everything, and that, that buys me so much time. You think, I mean, I'm only spending like $100, and I used to spend like $600 eating out, and now I don't eat out anymore. So I'm saving myself all the money, and now I'm using the money towards getting other things in the house and that I just don't want to do because I am exhausted after a week of work, and I just want to re-energize. My weekend needs to be about re-energizing and doing fun stuff, and that helps. And then I'm ready for Monday to Friday again, right? So outsource, that's what I call it. I outsource my work at home. If I can have somebody that can, like, I cannot go to do my nails, so I had a lady come and do my nails. This makes me happy, so I am gonna spend the $30 that I spend on these nails to make me happy, because it gives me that, Christmas feel for my nails. And I cannot go to the nail lady, so she comes to me. So you start to think of ways that you can have your normal life, even though we're in a pandemic and we need to like stay at home and do things, but you can bring things to you, and you can outsource many other things that you have. So um, a little creative. You have to be a little creative and take breaks. Make sure you take your breaks. um, Nothing is going to happen. Your brain actually can do so much when it's just relaxed. An idea can come in during just taking I don't know, a walk, and do nothing. Your mind is completely blank, and you can have many ideas come into you and figure out how to do the next thing that you need for work, right? Another thing that I do is I take power naps. Sometimes I worked really late. Like last night, I was doing the data, that platform summit, and I was late and I was getting tired. And this morning I worked at 8. And then before this meeting, I took a power nap. And I call this the when you shut down SQL Server, that the temp DB completely goes out, right? You just have to. Sometimes the software is built in a way that we just have to shut down and wake up, and we feel so much better, right? We can take all the queries in the world now because temp DB is back to the normal size, right? So we have to be the temp DB sometimes. If you feel like you need a power nap, it's just 15 minutes. It's not, you're not take a long nap. It's just a 15-minute nap. Or you're in Spain, you take siestas. That's 100% part of, I think, Europeans do, or Spanish people have such a healthy life, because sometimes you just need to let your body digest and just relax, and then go back to the whole is normalizing your hormones. So you feel like you were so high in cortisol, and now you can just relax, and now you can let it go up in cortisol level, and then you can go back, so take your power naps. That's it's been very helpful for me. Know how to build boundaries around you. Don't take so much work. If you know you're not going to be able to say no, just say no. you know we need to go to this. You're like, we can do one thing, right? So let's do one, because my daughter is like planning this, planning this, planning. I'm like, okay, it's a pandemic. We need to take it easy, one activity at a time, so that we can be very careful about protecting ourselves, etc. If I have too many things, then I get to, especially now, right? Because you're going to be exposed to so many people. The less exposed to people, the better, to control who was around you, trace, etc. Okay. So I really hope that this has helped you guys understand a little bit about why we're burned out. It's just, you're just bottling that energy. You just need to allow yourself to receive the energy that is freely given to you, and through the connections with other people, and building a performance and tuning environment in your work, where you can be able to manage your personal and professional life, because we're here. It's one place. This is your house. This is, this is where you want to have to build those psychological boundaries of what I can do, what I cannot do. um, we sometimes put ourselves into, especially women, we put ourselves into, we need to fix the whole world, and sometimes we just cannot. And right now it's time to take care of yourself, because we are burning. Women are the highest level of burnout right now, because we now have the work responsibilities, the home responsibilities, the kids' responsibilities, everything. So I'm here to talk. If you have any questions, and if you're feeling stressed, don't let this affect who you are. Life is so beautiful. We can do this. It's gonna be a long process to get you to the point where you're completely. And so let me tell you, sometimes those work from home is not gonna work for you. I did it for 8 years, and I'm gonna do another presentation and why I feel work from home is not good. That's the next one, but I can't right now. But because I have to tell you a lot of true things about it that you're gonna is a scary thing, right? So, but right now we need to adjust to what we're living and be able to be as productive as we can. So I really, really hope that this is helping you guys, and just know that you can reach out to me, and I'm here to help you guys. Okay? Thank you so much for the time.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, it's like you were describing me there for a while. Uh, and for a long time I was getting up early and going for walks, but when school started, that stopped. And I
Mhm.
have to say, I haven't been sleeping that fantastically later. And so now I'm wondering if all I really, if all I have time for is a few minutes to go outside, and instead of, even if I can't get out for a hike, just a few minutes outside in the morning might be enough to start. Oh, are you muted again? Oh no, not.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need. Once you get these little tweaks and things, you're gonna see changes. You're like, oh my gosh, so simple. So
How much do you get up and move around during the day? Do you have a routine of getting up on a regular basis?
yes, that is very important. You have to have a routine. You have to have a routine that cannot change. You have to, do the regular things you do. Just take your shower, do your tea, blah blah blah, the normal things. Your body needs to think. Nothing has changed. Because what has been happening is people have been changing things around. Oh, I'm just gonna wake up late. I'm just gonna, what you're doing is you're changing. It's like doing a jet lag. Your time travel to Madrid time zone now, right? Your body is not gonna adjust because then you're seeing it's too early. People are waking up later. You have to think of it as the retina is what is causing your whole body to work correctly, right? And you need gas to work correctly. You need to have sun, right? You need energy to work correctly. And so no changing of your eating times, no changing of everything has to be a routine. And that changes like that. Your life changes completely just by following that routine.
Well, very good. Well, I have in the comments pane, mostly it's just folks saying thank you. So I don't have any specific questions. So if anybody has any questions, type them in, type them in now before we sign off. But while I'm thinking of it, this session has been recorded, and I will post it up at some point in the near future to YouTube. It might not be today. And to get to it, maybe the easiest way is to come back to the professional development website and then look at the meeting archive, and the link to YouTube will be there. Well, thank you so much. If there's no other questions come in, we can sign off.
Okay. I am very, very excited to be able to share a little bit of my experience with you guys. Always remember that what I'm teaching you are very psychological, very common people, little hints here and there. But there are going to be cases where emotions and things that are going to affect you will eventually change the chemistry of your brain. And don't be hesitant about reaching out for help through a doctor, somebody that can monitor your psychological health. Mental health is very important. I'm giving you little things that can help anybody, but in the case that you're still feeling that fatigue and that emotional drain and those feelings, reach out for a doctor, mental health. whatever they recommend very seriously, because it's like your car is not going to work if you don't jump with jumped out the battery, right? That's exactly that would happen to some bodies when they have drained completely out of their energy. And sometimes you do need a little bit of a jump to get you back on track, and then you're okay, right? So um, think of the importance of mental health, because you will get out of it. You will. It's This is temporary. So feel reach out to all the things that are deemed.
Um, well, related to that, I think we actually have Tracy's session on mental health in our archive. And I think another one that you touched on was setting boundaries. And I know that Jess Borland did one for us. I'm just seeing. Was it this one? Busy is a four-letter word.
I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jess Schultz. I was wrong. That one is also in our archive. So we might have a few sessions in the professional development archive that would be useful for folks too. Good. Well, I think I will turn off the recording here. So thank you everybody for attending, and thank you so much, Gilda, for presenting. I really, really appreciate it. We all do.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great
Have a
day.
great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.